Prologue: The Spark of Cruelty. The Cathari were a proud race, their empire stretching across 30 stars. They prided themselves on conquest, on domination, and on their cold disdain for what they considered lesser beings. Humanity was tolerated barely, allowed to trade but never trusted, allowed to speak but rarely heard. But then came the insult. On the agricultural colony of Miras III, a small human settlement shared the land with the Cathari overseers. When resources ran thin, the Cathari declared the humans expendable. Their ships descended like iron locusts, torching fields, shattering homes, and rounding up colonists. The worst of it was not the slaughter, it was the laughter. As humans burned, the Cathari broadcast their mockery across open channels. Earth's children are fragile things. Watch them scatter like dust. They cling to sentiment, to mercy, yet mercy is weakness. They will not fight. They cannot fight. Among the victims was a child not even human, a young Cathari girl, blind since birth. She stumbled in the chaos, abandoned by her own people, left to perish in the flames. And it was not her fellow Cathari who saved her. It was a human engineer. He lifted her from the ash. He whispered gently to her as he carried her away. And though the sky thundered with alien cruelty, he promised her something no one had ever dared to promise before. "I will build you eyes." The galaxy's arrogance. News spread quickly through the stars. The Cathari broadcast the fall of Miras III like a victory parade. In council chambers across the galaxy, alien diplomats scoffed. Humanity's representatives, quiet, measured, patient, were ignored, their protests silenced beneath the sneers of old powers. "Earth is civilized," the councilors laughed. "Too civilized. They speak of law, of treaties, of balance, but they are soft. They will mourn, they will plead, they will never strike back." The Cathari boasted openly, "Let the humans weep. Let them beg. Their fleets are few, their resolve brittle. They are gardeners playing at soldiers. Their patience is infinite, but their vengeance is a myth." The blind Cathari girl, now under human care, was mocked even more viciously. "See how these primitives cling to our refuse," her people sneered. "They cradle weakness as if it were treasure. A blind one is a burden. She should have been left behind." But the human engineer worked in silence. His name never reached the council's records. He was not a general, nor an admiral, nor a politician. He was an inventor, a builder, and what he built for that abandoned child would become the first spark in a storm that would drown empires. The silence before the storm. It began with whispers. Freighters reported vanishing near the Sol corridor. Alien observers noted strange mass readings near asteroid belts, shadows that swallowed scans, fleets that seemed to be there and gone in a blink. Then came the silence. Earth stopped speaking. No representatives in the council chambers. No protests. No responses. Human diplomats vanished from sight, their envoys returning to Sol under orders of recall. The galaxy mistook it for surrender. "They are broken," the Cathari declared. "They know their place at last." But the silence was not surrender. It was the intake of breath before a roar. In the deep vaults of Luna's shipyards, in the subterranean forges of Mars, in the orbital rings encircling Titan, Earth was not mourning. Earth was preparing. The miracle device. The blind alien girl received her gift in secret. The human engineer worked night after night, weaving circuitry, photonic lattices, and neural mesh. It was not just a device to restore sight. It was a miracle. Her new eyes shone with brilliance, allowing her to perceive not only light but spectrums unknown to her kind. Radio waves, thermal signatures, even the faint trails of gravitational distortion. For the first time, she saw. And what she saw first was the face of the man who saved her. Tears shimmered in her new vision. He only smiled and said softly, "Never again will you walk in darkness." That miracle did not stay hidden. The device was reverse-engineered, adapted, and integrated. Humanity had taken compassion and transformed it into power. The same technology that gave sight to one child would give vision to fleets, to weapons, to entire armadas that could see the galaxy in ways no enemy could conceal. And then, when the first human dreadnought moved silently from dock, the stars themselves seemed to tremble. The breaking of the sky. The Cathari struck again, this time at a frontier outpost near Vega. They expected surrender, panic, flight. Instead, the void answered with silence, and then with fire. The human fleet emerged without warning. Ships cloaked in gravitational shadows unfolded from the dark like leviathans. Their hulls were painted black as midnight, their engines silent as the grave. The Cathari laughed at first, until the first shot struck. The weapon tore through space itself, unraveling ships in streams of light. Whole squadrons blinked from existence. Cathari commanders screamed in disbelief. This cannot be human technology. But it was, born of compassion, sharpened by vengeance. Open comms carried only a single human message. "You hurt ours, you left us no choice." Retaliation unleashed. World after world that had mocked Earth began to feel the silence shift to storm. Human fleets did not march in formation. They descended like tempests. Cities saw their skies blackened as dreadnoughts eclipsed suns. Armies landed like thunder, soldiers advancing with precision, unstoppable and cold. The Cathari broadcast panicked pleas. They are not fighting for conquest. They are not fighting for territory. They are fighting for vengeance. And vengeance had no borders. Orbital defense lines fell. Planetary shields cracked. Entire empires that once mocked humanity now scrambled to swear loyalty, terrified of being next. In every battle, the human ships fought with terrifying silence. No boasts, no threats, no declarations, only cold, methodical destruction. The galaxy realized too late that Earth's patience had not been weakness. It had been restraint. The galaxy in flames. The tide became annihilation. Human dreadnoughts erased fleets in minutes. Entire planets that had joined in Cathari laughter found their skis burning, their orbital rings shattered, their moons turned to slag. Where alien empires once mocked, now they whispered prayers. The miracle technology, the eyes once built for a blind girl, guided human fleets with perfect clarity. Enemies could not hide. Stealth fields, cloaking, gravitational distortions, all useless. Humanity saw through all of it. Cathari commanders, once arrogant, begged for mercy, but there was none. "You burned our colonies," the human voice on comms whispered like a knife. "Now we burn yours." The fall of the Cathari. The final blow came at Cathar Prime itself, jewel of the empire. Its golden towers, once proud, stood beneath skies that blazed red as Earth's fleets encircled the planet. Civilians wept, soldiers threw down arms, commanders tried to bargain. The humans gave only silence. Then the sky broke. From orbit, beams of light cut through shields, tearing apart cities with surgical precision. The capital burned in a storm of fire. The Cathari Emperor's last broadcast was a scream swallowed by static. And above the dying world, a human fleet hung in silence, colder than vengeance, heavier than judgment, eternal as death. Aftermath, whispers in the dark. The galaxy learned its lesson in silence. Where once aliens mocked, now they whispered. In every council chamber, in every trading hall, the same words spread like a shadow across the stars. Never provoke Earth again. The blind Kethari girl lived on, raised among humans, her miracle eyes forever glowing. To her people she was a ghost story, a reminder of betrayal and vengeance. To humanity she was proof of what compassion could create and what cruelty could awaken. And so the galaxy trembled, not only at the power humanity wielded, but at the knowledge that their vengeance had been born not of conquest, not of greed, but of something far more dangerous: love twisted into wrath. Patience infinite, vengeance eternal,